Donald Trump and real estate business. Trump started his career at his father's real estate development company, Elizabeth Trump and Son, which focused on middle-class rental housing in the New York City boroughs outside Manhattan, but also had business elsewhere. For example, during his undergraduate study, Trump joined his father Fred in successfully revitalizing the foreclosed Swifton Village apartment complex in Cincinnati, Ohio, thereby boosting the occupancy rate from 66% to 100%. Trump was promoted to president of the company in 1971, while his father became chairman of the board, and renamed it the Trump Organization. In 1973, he and his father drew wider attention when the Justice Department contended that the organization systematically discriminated against African Americans wishing to rent apartments, rather than merely screening out people based on low income, as the Trumps stated. Under an agreement reached in 1975, the Trumps made no admission of wrongdoing, and made the Urban League an intermediary for qualified minority applicants. His advisor and attorney during, and after, that period was Roy Cohn, who responded to attacks by counterattacking with maximum force, and who valued both positive and negative publicity, which were attitudes that Trump appreciated. Manhattan developments. In 1978, Trump consummated his first major real estate deal in Manhattan, purchasing a half-share in the decrepit Commodore Hotel, largely funded by a $70 million construction loan jointly guaranteed by Fred Trump and the Hyatt hotel chain. Designed by architect Dare Scott, the project was able to proceed by leveraging competing interests and by taking advantage of tax breaks. After remodeling, the hotel reopened as the Grand Hyatt Hotel, located next to Grand Central Terminal. Also in 1978, Trump finished negotiations to develop Trump Tower, a 58-story, 202-meter, 663-foot, skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan, which the New York Times attributed to his persistence and skills as a negotiator. To make way for the new building, a crew of undocumented Polish workers demolished an old Bonwit Teller store including Art Deco features that had initially been marked for preservation. The building was completed in 1983, and houses both the primary penthouse condominium residence of Trump and the headquarters of the Trump Organization. Architectural critic Paul Goldberger said in 1983 that he was surprised to find the tower's atrium was the most pleasant interior public space to be completed in New York in some years. Trump Tower was the setting of the NBC television show The Apprentice, and includes a fully functional television studio set. Repairs on the Wallman Rink, originally opened in 1949 in Central Park, were started in 1980 by a general contractor unconnected to Trump. Despite an expected 2.5-year construction schedule, the repairs were not completed by 1986. Trump took over the project, completed it in 3 months for $775,000 less than the initial budget of $1.95 million. And operated the rink for 1 year with all profits going to charity in exchange for the rink's concession rights. In 1988 Trump acquired the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan for a record-setting $407 million, and asked his wife Ivana to manage its operation. Trump invested $50 million to restore the building, which he called the Mona Lisa. According to hotel expert Thomas McConnell, the Trumps boosted it from a 3-star to a 4-star ranking, and sold it in 1995, by which time Ivana was no longer involved. In 1994, Trump became involved with a building on Columbus Circle which was swaying in the wind. He began a reconstruction project that stopped the swaying and gave the building a full makeover. Trump thereafter owned commercial space in that 44-story mixed-use tower, hotel and condominium, which he named Trump International Hotel and Tower. In 1996, Trump acquired a vacant 70-story skyscraper on Wall Street, which had briefly been the tallest building in the world when it was completed in 1930. After an extensive renovation, the high-rise was renamed the Trump Building at 40 Wall Street. In 1997, he began construction on Trump Place, a multi-building development along the Hudson River, and encountered delays the following year because a subcontractor had to replace defective concrete. Ultimately, he and the other investors in that project sold their interest in 2005 for $1.8 billion, in what was then the biggest residential sale in the history of New York City. From 1994 to 2002, Trump owned a 50% share of the Empire State Building. He would have renamed it to Trump Empire State Building Tower Apartments if he had been able to boost his share. In 2001, across from the headquarters of the United Nations, he completed Trump World Tower, which for a while was the tallest all-residential tower in the world. Trump acquired the former Hotel Delmonico in Manhattan in 2002, which reopened with 35 stories of luxury condominiums in 2004 as the Trump Park Avenue. Meanwhile, he continued to own millions of square feet of other prime Manhattan real estate. Palm Beach Estate. Trump acquired the historic Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida in 1985 for $5 million, plus $3 million for the home's furnishings. It was built in the 1920s by heiress and socialite Marjorie Merriweather Post, who envisioned the house as a future winter retreat for American presidents. Trump's initial offer of $28 million had been rejected, and he was able to get the property at the much lower price by purchasing separate beachfront property and threatening to build a house on it that would block Mar-a-Lago's ocean view. In addition to using the estate as a home, Trump also turned it into a private club open to everyone who could afford the initiation fee of $100,000 plus annual dues. In 1986, he acquired a foreclosed, 33-story, twin-tower condominium complex in nearby West Palm Beach for $40 million, with automobile manufacturing executive Lee Iacocca investing in 3 of the condos. Despite sprucing up its public areas, and years of heavy promotion, selling the units proved difficult, and the deal turned out to be unprofitable. Atlantic City Casinos. New Jersey legalized gambling in 1977, and the following year Trump was in Atlantic City, New Jersey to explore how he might get involved. 7 years later, Harrah's at Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino opened there, built by Trump with financing from Holiday Corporation, which also was managing that business. Renamed Trump Plaza soon after opening, it was then the tallest building in Atlantic City. The casino's poor results exacerbated disagreements between Trump and Holiday Corporation, which led to Trump paying $70 million in May 1986 to buy out their interest in the property. Trump also acquired a partially completed building in Atlantic City from the Hilton Corporation for $320 million. When completed in 1985, that hotel and casino became Trump Castle, and Trump's wife, Ivana, managed that property until Trump transferred her in 1988 to run the Trump Plaza Hotel in New York. Also in 1988, Trump acquired his third casino in Atlantic City, the Taj Mahal, then halfway through construction, by making a complex transaction with the television host and entertainer Merv Griffin as well as the resort and casino company Resorts International. In October 1989, 3 of his top Atlantic City executives died in a helicopter accident, which both stymied and delayed the planned opening of the Taj Mahal. The Taj finally opened in April 1990, and was built at a total cost of $1.1 billion, which at the time made it the most expensive casino ever. Financed with $675 million in junk bonds, it was a major gamble by Trump. The project underwent debt restructuring the following year, leaving Trump with 50% ownership. He also sold his 282-foot, 86 meters, Magayat, the Trump Princess, which had been indefinitely docked in Atlantic City while leased to his casinos for use by wealthy gamblers. Trump founded Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, THCR, in 1995, which assumed ownership of Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and the Trump Casino in Gary, Indiana. 157, THCR purchased Taj Mahal in 1996, and underwent bankruptcy restructuring in 2004 and 2009, leaving Trump with 10% ownership in the Trump Taj Mahal and other Trump casino properties. He served as chairman of the publicly traded THCR organization, which was renamed Trump Entertainment Resorts, from mid-1995 until early 2009, and served as CEO from mid-2000 to mid-2005. During the 1990s, Trump's casino ventures faced competition from Native American gaming at the Foxwoods Casino located on an Indian reservation in Connecticut, where it was exempt from the state's anti-gambling laws. Trump stated in 1993 that the casino owners did not look like real Indians to him or to other Indians. Subsequent to that well-publicized remark about the Mashantucket Pequot tribe, Trump became a key investor backing the Pawcatuck Eastern Pequots, who were also seeking state recognition. Legal affairs and bankruptcies. As of 2016, Trump and his businesses had been involved in more than 3,500 state and federal legal actions. He or one of his companies was the plaintiff in 1,900 cases and the defendant in 1,450. With Trump or his company as plaintiff, more than half the cases have been against gamblers at his casinos who had failed to pay off their debts. With Trump or his company as a defendant, the most common type of case involved personal injury cases at his hotels. In cases where there was a clear resolution, Trump's side won 451 times and lost 38. Trump has never filed for personal bankruptcy, but his hotel and casino businesses have been declared bankrupt 6 times between 1991 and 2009 in order to renegotiate debt with banks and owners of stock and bonds. Because the businesses used Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they were allowed to operate while negotiations proceeded. Trump was quoted by Newsweek in 2011 saying, "I do play with the bankruptcy laws, they're very good for me as a tool for trimming debt." The 6 bankruptcies were the result of over-leveraged hotel and casino businesses in Atlantic City and New York. Trump Taj Mahal, 1991, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, 1992, Plaza Hotel, 1992, Trump Castle Hotel and Casino, 1992. Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, 2004, and Trump Entertainment Resorts, 2009. Trump said, "I've used the laws of this country to pare debt, we'll have the company. We'll throw it into a chapter. We'll negotiate with the banks. We'll make a fantastic deal. You know, it's like on The Apprentice. It's not personal. It's just business." A 2016 analysis of Trump's business career by The Economist concluded that his performance, from 1985 to 2016, has been mediocre compared with the stock market and property in New York, noting both his successes and bankruptcies. A subsequent analysis by The Washington Post concluded that Trump is a mix of braggadocio, business failures, and real success, calling his casino bankruptcies the most infamous flop of his business career. Golf courses. The Trump Organization operates many golf courses and resorts in the United States and around the world. According to GolfWeek, Trump owns or manages about 18 golf courses. His personal financial disclosure with the Federal Elections Commission stated that his golf and resort revenue for the year 2015 was roughly $382 million, while his 3 European golf courses did not show a profit. In 2006, Trump bought 1,400 acres, 570 hectares, including the Meany estate in Balmeedy, Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and created a golf resort there. Scottish supporters emphasized potential economic benefits, and opponents emphasized potential environmental harm to a Site of Special Scientific Interest, SSSI. A spokesperson for the golf course has said 95% of the SSSI is untouched. A 2011 independent documentary, You've Been Trumped, chronicled the golf resort's construction and struggles. In 2015, an offshore wind farm being built within sight of the golf course prompted a legal challenge by Trump, which was dismissed by the UK Supreme Court. In the wake of the 2008 recession, Trump greatly scaled back development of this property, and as of December 2016 Scottish officials were pushing for completion of the far larger development as originally approved. In April 2014, Trump purchased the Turnberry Hotel and Golf Resort in Ayrshire, Scotland, which hosted the Open Championship 4 times between 1977 and 2009. After extensive renovations and a remodeling of the course by golf architect Martin Ebert, Turnberry was reopened in June 2016. Russian projects and investors. Trump pursued business deals in Russia starting in 1987, and in 1996 filed trademark applications for potential Russian real estate development deals, but none of those deals ever materialized. Along with his partners and children, Trump visited Moscow several times, connecting with developers and government officials to explore joint venture opportunities that never panned out. Outside Russia, several of Trump's real estate developments received a large part of their financing from private Russian investors. In 2008 his son Donald Trump Jr. said Russians make up a pretty disproportionate cross-section of a lot of our assets and we see a lot of money pouring in from Russia. Trump hosted the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, in partnership with Russian billionaire Arzag Alarov, and his Russia ties came under intense investigative reporting during and after the 2016 presidential campaign. Other real estate activities. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, the Trump Organization expanded its footprint in the United States beyond New York and into a few other countries, with the co-development and management of hotel towers in Chicago, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Panama City, Toronto, and Vancouver. There are also Trump-branded buildings in Dubai, Honolulu, Istanbul, Manila, Mumbai and in Indonesia. Resignation. When Trump was elected president in November 2016, questions arose over how he would avoid conflicts of interest between his work in the White House and his business activities. At a press conference on January 10, 2017, Trump said that he and his daughter Ivanka would resign all roles with the Trump Organization, while his 2 oldest sons Don Jr. and Derek would run the business, together with Chief Financial Officer Alan Selberg. Trump retained his financial stake in the business. His attorney Sherry Dillon said that before the January 20 inauguration, Trump would put those business assets into a trust, which would hire an ethics advisor and a compliance counsel. She added that the Trump Organization would not pursue any new foreign business deals, while continuing to pursue domestic opportunities. As of April 2017, Trump companies owned more than 400 condo units and home lots in the United States, valued at $250 million in total, $200,000 to $35 million each.